How does a mouse build a burrow? It takes a little bit more than just elbow grease to build a home. In the case of Peromyscus mice, it's all in the genes. One has to be born a master mouse architect. In a recent study, Jesse Weber, Brant Peterson, and Hobie Hoekstra set out to unearth the genetic basis of mouse burrowing. They looked at two related species of mice, Peromyscus polionotus and Peromyscus maniculatus. Polionotus inhabits the open fields and beaches of the southeastern US. It builds an excellent burrow with a long entrance tunnel and an ingenious escape tunnel. Maniculatus, on the other hand, lives in prairies and forests all over the US. It builds a more humble burrow with a short entrance tunnel and no escape tunnel. The research team also studied Polionotus mice and Maniculatus mice in a lab setting. These captive mice continued to build burrows typical of their species, even though, as lab-reared mice, they had never encountered burrowing before. This suggests that burrowing behavior is genetically controlled. To generate more burrows for their study, the team crossed a captive Polionotus with a captive Maniculatus to produce a hybrid F1. These F1s built Polionotus-style burrows, indicating that the Polionotus alleles are genetically dominant. They overrule the recessive genetic input from Maniculatus. Finally, the team backcrossed the hybrid F1 generation with the parental Maniculatus mice. This allowed the team to find the burrowing genes in the Peromyscus genome.
Intuitively, we might think that our dogs are good for our emotional and physical well-being. After all, they provide companionship and non-judgmental love. Perhaps they even make us healthier by encouraging us to take them on walks. Experiments indicate that pet ownership may result in a reduction of minor health problems such as headaches and tiredness. Yet, various studies suggest that dog owners are not always healthier than non-dog owners. Some studies even indicate that dogs may actually cause higher rates of distress in their owners if pairing was not done carefully. So how might we interpret all of these conflicting results? It's hard to say whether these studies point to correlation or causality when it comes to the relationship between dog ownership and human health.
I always describe the using piece as like, in an action movie when the car is like going over the bridge and in slow motion you see the car like headed towards the water. That is the best example I can think of like the car crashing but in slow motion. That's like what the getting high feels like. Or another example I use, at the end of Beauty and the Beast, when the Beast is transforming into the human, and you see him on the floor, and like the sparks are flying in the air, and like, his body's being risen, to transform. But in reality, it's just like a slow motion falling asleep and tuning out from everything that's going on.